Mirasol.
Mirasol. It's a new community. It's beautiful. It's in Palm Beach. And they're all homes, no apartments.
Yeah, Charlie went down there like a week ago.
And a gorgeous
What?
golf course.
That's cute.
It's a fabulous community.
That's great.
Yeah,
Well, we should
Pete, will
check
you
out,
just get me some
Jenny
more
Barrett's
ice?
house for a week or something one time.
Unfortunately, my
It
brother.
wouldn't fit in it. How many rooms does it have?
What?
Hmm?
Mom said Annie's coming.
Well, that's what I heard. So she did, or is she?
No, you told me that.
Well, that's what did Annie say she's coming next weekend?
Annie told me that she's coming, that she thinks
We'll
next
clarify.
Friday.
We'll clarify.
But
Who's
for,
Annie?
but
Isn't
for
it
work.
Lenny's daughter?
Yeah.
That was my former son-in-law.
Gigi, why do they call you Gigi? Is that your real name?
Well, when Johnny was little, he started to learn how to talk.
Mm-hmm.
So I said to him, say grandma. So he said, Gigi. So I said, no, grandma.
Yeah.
And he said, Gigi. So how many times could I say grandma and he would say Gigi? So I said to Cheryl, my daughter, I said, you know what? That's going to be my name.
Gigi will be your
That's it.
grandma name.
I'm not grandma, I'm Gigi.
That's
So
a good thing.
It just stayed with me and I love it.
That's a nice name.
It's cute. It's love.
Mm-hmm.
It's pure love. Our family, that's what it is.
And
Everything.
nobody gets confused because
No.
there's no other geeks.
No, there is not.
Only
I'm
one.
The only one. There's only one Adele. There's only one Adele Shapiro also. Don't forget that.
So you pronounce your last name Shapiro. Everyone in Philadelphia is
Now
Shapiro.
wait a second,
not
there's
Shapiro.
another
Well, my
Shapiro.
husband was from Baltimore.
Oh.
And he
There's
met me
another
in Atlantic
Shapiro.
City.
Really?
Listen to the
Who?
story of how they
The
met.
husband? My husband was from Baltimore.
Oh.
I was from Philadelphia. And we went to Atlantic City every summer.
Before they met.
And my brother went to camp. The girls, we went to down the shore. So what's the story?
So the
about?
story of how you met Don. Tell the story of
Oh,
how
I
you
met
met
Don.
Don.
I didn't know what the story was about that I was telling you. Oh, so well, I got married, I was very young, naturally, I was 10. No, but I really was. But I had a date one night with a fellow, and I mean, it really was like around 17 or not even 18 maybe. My parents took a place down the shore for the summer. My brother went to camp. We were 3. I was the oldest. Then I have a sister Elaine who's 2 years younger than me, and then my brother was 2 years younger than her. And he became a doctor and then a surgeon. And then, I don't know what the story is about.
So you were saying how you met Don. Tell how you met Don. Tell the story
How
of
did I meet
So you
Don?
had a date.
I had a date one night, accidentally had a date because I was real ugly and nobody wanted to take me out. So I was so happy I had a date. So I said to my mother, though, I don't think I feel like going out with this fellow tonight. So she said, look, you don't have to go with him again, but you're not going to break your date. So I said, okay. I was good. So I went out and we were like all on the boardwalk. And Don came down, he lived in Baltimore. And he came down with a bunch of guys, and he already was engaged, unfortunately, I think he might, I don't know if he was engaged yet or not.
But you didn't know. You didn't know.
I
that.
didn't know anything. He came down with boys. And then, I don't know what this story is about.
Oh, so then you're on the boardwalk and
What?
you meet, and then he starts.
Yeah,
you
but
start to
he's
date
telling
him.
a story.
You start to date him.
He's telling
And
a
he
story
comes
about
on Friday
about
from
marriage.
Baltimore.
To break my date, but then he decided to take my number, or he was with the group, whatever, and he decided to start to come down. Don was a graduate of Johns Hopkins, and he was always from Baltimore.
So he comes Friday. So he comes Fridays.
He would come on
But
Friday.
he would leave Sunday
and then
morning.
on Saturday at night he would always have to go home because he said he was in a golf tournament on Sunday. He was a great golfer. So I believed him naturally.
So you dated
I
for.
believed anything he said.
So you dated for a long
So we
time, but he would
dated.
always come Friday
Yes,
and
and
leave
he would
Sunday
come
morning.
Raj.
down to Philadelphia, and then he would go home. He was in a golf tournament. But then finally one day, we were sitting on the sofa making love a little bit, and he said, Adele, I have something to tell you. I said, oh, what? I figured he was going to say he's married because I didn't know what he was going to say. He said, I happen to be engaged for 4 years while I was in college. So I said, I threw him off the sofa. I really did.
I don't blame you.
I
Then
threw
what
him right
happened?
off the sofa. I said, you're the worst person I ever could meet. How can you do this? And you're horrible. I never want to see you again. Go back to Baltimore where you belong. But then he he had already become engaged to this girl who we went out with for 4 years, or 3 years, I don't know. I was a child. I don't know.
So then what happened? So then he broke the, so then what happened
Then he
weeks
went
later?
back to Baltimore and he broke his engagement. And I know, he told me this, when the girl wanted to give him back the ring, Don said he felt so horrible that he was breaking the engagement. He said, you'll send it to, no, he didn't say keep it, he said, you'll send it to her. But
Good
her
day,
mother
Becky.
said,
Will you take
keep
over?
it."
I'll make you a drink.
Not Don. And anyhow, I wouldn't have wanted that ring anyhow, even though it was his mother's. And he did feel bad that he didn't ever get it back, but that's okay. I got my own. And
You
then
got him.
You have him. You got the
I
pack.
got Don. I got a very handsome guy, looked just like Don. Don. Oh God. This is too all this is all too overwhelming.
Fun, right?
But it's okay. I'm on the stage now. I'm an actress.
Well, you
So I'm
can,
telling the story. Okay. What am I up to? I broke the
You broke the engagement, but then you got married, but
John's
he heard
broken
about the
married.
war, right?
Oh yeah, when Don heard about the war, he got scared to death. So he
Figured he'd get married.
had a brother-in-law, Dr. Raphael Cohen, who was in charge of the whole something, I don't know what.
He was in
got-
charge of the,
the Manhattan Project at Hopkins in
Yes,
Baltimore.
and Don was a graduate of Johns Hopkins, so who knows you, Don? He knows the story.
I know all the stories.
I know.
So what happened,
Yeah,
Don?
that's most of
Then
it.
Don used to start to come down to Philadelphia, and he was madly in love with me. And what oh no, we were married already.
so you got married because he was afraid of the war,
He was
so
afraid
he
of the
stole
war,
you.
so
He
you-
ran
so
away
stole
with
you,
me,
and
and I
you
ran
got-
with him. I didn't know what I was doing. So anyhow, his
Married you.
brother-in-law was running the whole Manhattan Project. That was the main, Dr. Raphael Rosen. So he got Don. Well, Don did graduate Hopkins as a chemist or something like that. So they put him into part of the reserve. So he didn't have to go into the army because this was a special
You worked at
project.
Hopkins during the war.
Because he was
Yes,
afraid of the war.
yes, and he would just come home for the weekends.
Because he had to.
Didn't he blow his eyebrows off one time when?
Yes, he did. One of his experiments that he was doing.
But he
But
worked
that
on
was
the Manhattan
okay.
Project.
Mhm.
So, now
Yeah,
there's a
that's true.
Shapiro in Philadelphia that I met the son. I don't know if that's Barry's, when we see Saturday night, I'll ask him.
Saturday
You know the
night.
Giddises?
The what?
Howard Giddis, did you know him?
Why do some people pronounce it Shapiro and some Shapiro?
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia,
Philadelphia,
Shapiro.
they say it's
Shapiro.
Shapiro.
When
Interesting.
you talk about Giddis is Saturday night.
Barry.
Some people say Shapiro. I
Barry's
guess,
originated
In
but-
Philadelphia, they say
Barry wouldn't
Shapiro.
say
In
Shapiro.
other places, they
Right.
say Shapiro.
Right, and we belong to the club. We lived a minute away from Ashburn Country Club. So my husband was a wonderful golfer. So
He was good at cards, right, too?
and cards, of course.
He was a big bridge player.
He was a very fabulous golfer too. He was a wonderful golfer.
But
And-
you tried to take up bridge, right?
Oh, that was wonderful. When Charles and Lenny, when my daughter first got married, I decided I was going to learn how to play bridge. So I took lessons at the club, and they came to visit us one weekend. They didn't have any children yet. So I said to Lenny and Charles, I said, now we all four of us can play bridge because I learned how to. My husband was a fabulous card player, bridge, anything, and I mean he was always in the card room or on the golf course.
War.
So we sat down and I
What?
bought a
War.
bridge table.
War.
I had a bridge of notes this high because I took bridge lessons. And I had a book and we had everything, and we sat down to play bridge. And and my daughter loved to play cards and bridge and everything. So we sat down, we had one game of bridge. And my son-in-law, he said, Adele, you know what? I said, what? He said, you see this bridge table and all those notes? You can throw them away because you'll never be a bridge player. I said, okay, you're right. I'm tired of taking these bridge lessons. My husband was a fabulous card player. He was.
But
in
he
the
only
card-
liked to play for money, right?
Oh yeah, otherwise it didn't count. It was not for fun. They played down in the card room. Well, yeah, I don't have to tell you about country clubs, how life is there.
But you never played cards, Dad.
No, because after I had my lessons, the teacher told me I can quit too. My algebra
Do
teacher.
you like golf?
I love golf, and my algebra teacher said to me, I went to a private school, he said, Adele, I took the first year of algebra, he
Well,
said,
then
you don't have to continue to
What
the
private
second
school, like
year."
elementary?
I said, happy day, because I